Hello ladies and gentlemen, Michael aka Victor here. I did a video called Soul Talk where I kind of talked about this in more detail, so I'm just going to kind of burst through this. So most people that are watching this have a soul or believe they have a soul. The whole religious difference is the relation of that soul to a deity or a creator or something like that, but they don't deny they have a soul. And the soul, when you look at it from a definition on science or on Google, it doesn't look at it as an imaginary thing. So this looks at the different souls that incarnate here and that are experienced in incarnating here. That is what an old soul is pretty much. Because your soul is immortal, so it really doesn't have an age, but an old soul is just one that is incarnated here more. So this breaks down the souls, the infant souls, baby souls, young souls, mature souls, and old souls that are incarnated here on this planet. And it's interesting to look at the traits of each of them to see which ones you fall into. So the infant souls are new here, they're learning the rules, they're about action, they have very little patience, and they're easy to follow, and they're in jail, some of them, for being immature and taking action and having no patience, right? That's 10%. The baby souls are the souls that need rules and regulations. They create them and impose them on everybody. And they're sure they're right, and they're self-important. They kind of know they're right. The rules work for them, so they have to work for everybody. And these are the people that are in Bible classes and KKK rallies and organizations like that. The young souls are there chasing material greed. They're lawmakers. They're in corporate USA. They're driven. They're very ambitious. They're about power, prominence, wealth, competition. I win, you lose. And they're compulsive with aging. That's 32%. So they're basically taking these rules that have been created by this younger soul class and finding the loopholes in them and finding ways to make them work for them and just using that as a competition. The person with the most money wins. The mature souls start looking at these questions and these rules, and they start questioning here. So you look at the blue pill here and the red pill here. They're more into rights. They start to ask the who am I question, but they don't quite know the answers yet of the old souls, so they have some angst, they say. They do have a fascination with their own drama, and it can be dramatic and have an addictive nature. Then you got the old souls. They're getting off the cycle. They're not in the organization as some of these other souls are. They're the most caring and the most experienced, but they do have the low self-esteem. They're outnumbered, 11% compared to 89% of the other ones. They know who they are. They have these questions. They're searching more from experience. This is rules. This is doctrine. This is dogma, and this is experience. This is questioning, and this is self-experience. And the whole intent of this is to build a repository of information, of knowledge from these old souls, because most of this stuff is just kind of siloed, right? So it's to take this and build a foundation so that when we do incarnate here, whether we're in a life cycle, an infant, baby, young, mature, or old person, because you gotta understand the soul age does not identify with the body age. You can be an old soul in a young body or a young body with an old soul. But as you incarnate here, you don't have to relearn all of these lessons. This is a shared thing. And this is something that we can do for ourselves in the midst of this crazy experience we're going through now. The world is going to change, and it's all about good information. This is all stuff that can be backed up by you and your experience. I just want to kind of mention that from a soul standpoint, because you guys are the 10% of souls that decide to incarnate here. The other 90% don't deal with this part because this is a study in limitation, and when you are all there is and when you know that love is all there is, why would you come down here and go through this veil of forgetfulness to not know this, to experience all of this duality that we have here? The reason you do that is because you have a quicker way to learn that experience versus contemplating on not doing it. To go inside of the game and not know you're inside of the game is an easier way to learn it than to just look at the code from the outside. You are actually in it. You have more skin in the game. So the more skin in the game, the more experienced the soul, but the age of the soul is immortal because we're all sparks, we're all creative probes, and we all come from the source. And that's where we go when we leave this realm. And that's where love is all there is, and all there is love, just as reported from an aunt that had a near-death experience and came back with that message. So there you have it. Just wanted to kind of talk through that real quick.